came to earth to try to outdo or to oppress or to take over and destroy God's creation. And that's why it was so necessary. Our topic, speaking about the gates of hell, shall not prevail against it. The gates of hell shall not prevail against the knowledge that Christ, who is the creator of things, the earth, all the things that God said, Christ was the active force in doing. So Satan thinks that he can destroy God's creation, which is who we were made in image of. We're God's creation made in the image of God. So with Satan trying to destroy us, he's trying to still have the ones up on God.
Right.
And that's why God said it can't be so.
I can't allow it.
He won't.
And it's important to understand, as Christians, that Satan has already been bound. He was bound when he was cast out of heaven. He was hindered. He was contained. He was limited. He was tied up before he was released in the earth. And the proof of that, and what you have to understand, is that Satan can't just do anything he wants. He has to operate under the permissive will of God, which is why when he was attempting to afflict Job, he had to get permission from God. God had to release him to be able to move against Job. Well, still, that same thing happens in our day and time. Satan has to be released to move against us. And as a Christian, you have to be aware that sometimes God uses Satan, because when do you pray most? When do you seek God most? When do you try to press into God? Right, when you're going through. So God says to Satan, turn up the heat on those saints. They need to press into me. But in addition to that, we have to understand that the binding of Satan was one thing, but the advent of Messiah Jesus was another. And the advent of Messiah Jesus was a fulfillment of prophecy. It was God proving his word. It was God keeping his word, because God told them in the garden that what you've done is you've upset the balance. This is not how I've intended it. This is not what my design was. And so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to send an equalizer. And the equalizer and the undoer that I'm going to send is Jesus the Christ. And his coming out of eternity into time to be the sacrificial lamb is going to crush your head, Satan. And so Jesus was telling Peter at that time, when he asked him that profound question, who do men say that I am? That I am who the Father has promised. The Father promised way back when he was dealing with Adam and Eve and Lucifer that I would come, and now I'm here. And that's the significance of him charging them, don't tell anybody that the Messiah has come, because there was still some preparatory work that God wanted to do with the people and with the apostles and with the disciples, because had they known that the Messiah was in the earth, they might have circumvented, Satan might have really ran rampant to circumvent the ultimate purpose of God being fulfilled.
And the whole thing is that Christ is the plan. Christ is God's plan to do what? To destroy the works of the enemy. That was the major purpose, and so many of us get it skewed and get it twisted, and we think that the only reason Christ came to the earth was to come to be just the humble servant, or just to be the love child, or to show us how to love each other. Yes, he did come for that. But the main reason that he came was to destroy the works of the enemy, that God can be back in relation, and we as God's creation can be linked back up with the Creator as it was purposed in the beginning.